Hawaiian Electric testified in the nation's capital today. Congressional representatives from both parties said they see urgency in learning from what happened in Lahaina. KITV4's Jeremy Lee is in Washington, D.C., and he joins us live now.
It's the end of the day here in Washington, D.C., but the day itself did not yield that many answers. Several times, the CEO of Hawaiian Electric, when asked about the events of August the 8th, said that she did not have the information present with her and deferred. Now, there will be 10 business days where those in the hearing, those in Congress can ask additional questions, and then another 10 business days in which they can be answered. So still more ahead. Now, Hawaiian Electric, the Public Utilities Commission, and the State Energy Office all appeared in front of Congress in the office, the Department of Energy and Commerce. Now, it was the first time under oath that somebody from Hawaiian Electric, in this case the CEO, Shelly Kimura, pledged in her testimony that, quote, all of Hawaiian Electric's power lines in West Maui had been de-energized for more than 6 hours, end quote. That referring to the time in the afternoon that the fire flare-up is thought to have started in the same area of Lahaina Luna Road near the bypass. Now, while Hawaiian Electric CEO left the hearing quickly, press did have a chance to speak to Jim Kelly, the Vice President in Communications. I asked him about the communication that day regarding down power lines. Is there a protocol where even though lines are de-energized, one treats them as if they are?
Well, see, that's a tough thing because we tell the public all the time, even if you see lines down, always assume that they're energized because there's no way just by looking at it, smelling it, listening to it that you can tell whether it's actually energized or de-energized. So the question about whether the police, they were doing the right thing. I don't think anybody wants to take chances when it comes to lines that are down, especially in a chaotic situation, determine which lines might be energized, which lines might not be. That's pretty tough, and electricity is not something you want to guess about.
But is there a notification that went out through the Emergency Management, Emergency Operations Center that all these lines are de-energized?
I haven't heard that.
And that brings us back to what kind of communication took place that day in the Emergency Operations Center in Wailuku. Hawaiian Electric tweeted on August 8th that it was attempting to restore power several times, and that it was also in contact with the Emergency Operations Center. Some additional discussion about hardening the power grid took place. Those testifying were asked what it would take to put lines underground. The answer was 5 times more. It will cost 5 times more to go underground, the witnesses told Congress. Another revelation that the Public Utilities Commission didn't know that there were so many power lines down until well into the afternoon. That's when Hawaiian Electric created an incident management team to deal with the EOC. So lots of questions that still remain right here in Washington, D.C. after a day of testimony. Back to you.
Jeremy, we're happy to have you live in Washington covering this. You were in the room. What was the tension like between those parties? Well, in the end, Representative Case and Representative Takuta had a chance to speak directly to the forum, and essentially what they said was they were happy that there were constructive questions. There was some trepidation. I spoke to Representative Case just yesterday, and he was worried that this could be used politically, that there'd be some kind of partisan back and forth, but that was not the case. Overall, both of our representatives felt that the questions were constructive and on topic. And then there was a lot of talk about the government shutdown and its impacts on Maui. Bit of a side issue, but tell us more on what was said on that. It did come center stage, and it was Representative Jill Takuta that spoke very passionately about not abandoning West Maui at this time of need, and essentially how risky it would be if a government shutdown was not avoided and it did actually come to pass, how that might actually put the flow of support at risk, so very crucial right now to the people of West Maui. Well, thanks for covering this, and thanks a lot, Jeremy.